Hey, what's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, going to be taking a look at Litecoin against USDT. Going to be taking a look at some of these key technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be assessing some of the pivotal areas of support and resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with in the very near future here. Let me know in the comments down below if you're bullish, are you bearish on price action moving forward. Do you trade, do you hold, do you let the price action unfold? What are your kind of plans for the upcoming kind of moves here? Are you bullish? Do you think we found support? Are we going to, pop up to these kind of upper levels, perhaps find support along that $177 kind of level, and then, make our way up to the multi-hundred, $400, $500 level that we came from not too long ago? Or are we bearish still, and we're looking to find support somewhere at these kind of lower levels of accumulation? And do you think we're going to be trapped at these kind of like lower ranges for a period of time? Let me know your thoughts on kind of price action moving forward. Now, jumping right into it to kind of recap. Price action that has interacted with this ascending kind of trend line here. We have interaction above it, price action making its way down to it to always define it as kind of as support until kind of this kind of most recent price action here between the kind of 21st of March and the kind of 12th to like 19th of May. There we had interaction kind of above and below for like along those kind of weeks. Setting some higher highs and higher lows. Price action was looking very bullish, making our way above that trend, above that ascending trend line, after interacting with it as resistance. So we were kind of respecting it all throughout that kind of uptrend, all the way until the kind of 12th of May there, when we started to kind of like fail to hold above it. And we started to break below, retested kind of to confirm it as resistance, I believe, moving forward, and then we kind of plummeted through what could have been significant support between 226 and 206. To interact with this very pivotal $177 level that has acted as very significant support and resistance for price action over the past kind of like set of months here. And so I do believe that $177 level is going to be kind of very critical, and at the moment, price action based on kind of this kind of mini rejection I believe we're having, this daily candle opening and what appears to perhaps close below this $177 line there might confirm that as resistance moving forward again. And the last time we interacted with that level as significant resistance was kind of between the 7th and kind of 10th of January, which caused that swing high to bring us plummeting down to $116. And so we could very well be kind of quite bearish enough to interact with these kind of like sub $150 levels kind of here. I do believe a more bullish kind of level of support is going to be $116 if we are bearish enough to kind of interact with that level. But ultimately, this is going to be quite a critical point. We do have the fundamental bullishness to perhaps kind of like, bounce here and find our way back above 177 very quickly. The longer we can hold above that level, the more short-term bullish we can be, and the sooner we can expect interaction with $200 to $227, which is going to be the next kind of significant resistance moving forward. But until then, we might be trapped between this range I'm eyeing here between 116 and 177. But when we consider EngineeringRobo, along with the Fibba Zucchini, Fibba Illuminati, Fibba Bugatti, Fibba Illuminati again lines, we can see new perspective come into play when we consider, EngineeringRobo being, short-term bearish at the moment. That's sell for and hell coming into play, suggesting some continued, perhaps bearish price action, supported by perhaps this 200 daily moving average, which is going to be a very, significant bearish sell indicator. We also have my 177 kind of support line there interacting near that 0.382 Fibonacci line at $172, which is just below that 200 daily MA at $186. And so we have a very significant kind of thick zone of potential support or resistance kind of moving forward. We could spend a few days interacting above that Fibonacci line and under that 200 daily moving average for a period of time before we solidify 177 as resistance or support, although price action at the moment could very well find its way toward that 0.236 level, correlating with my $116 kind of support line. And so there's lots going on with kind of Litecoin at the moment. There's plenty of key fundamental bullish reasons why price action could find its way kind of upward again at these kind of higher levels, but there are also some very significant technical bearish reasons why some sell pressure might be kind of present, and some lower levels might present themselves in the kind of near future before we can continue in the long term. Now, if we were to consider Litecoin against the price of Bitcoin, we can see a new perspective come into play here. When we consider price action, daily candles closing below that 4507 Satoshi level, which was significant support, kind of between the 16th of April and like the 25th of April there. Price action was kind of bouncing along it, finding its way toward it until support was found at the kind of like 24th, 25th. and we were able to break significant resistance between 51.20 and 56.23 Satoshi to interact with some kind of higher highs above 67.01, where we ultimately found kind of resistance, and it sent us kind of plummeting back down to kind of where we came from, a significant zone between 56.30 and 51.26 became resistance as we plummeted through this 45.13 level to bounce off of, well, we had a wick kind of near that 37.28 level, but the body of the candle kind of found support near 41.34 to find us back above 45.02, but ultimately resistance was found at 51.26 Satoshi. Now we find ourselves below what could have been significant support at 45.13, and I believe price action is going to find its way between 41.34 and 45.07 for a period of kind of time here. I do believe that 4500 Satoshi and 4100 Satoshi is going to be the kind of key levels I believe are going to be bouncing back and forth between kind of moving forward for kind of the coming sort of weeks here. We could be bearish enough to kind of find our way below the kind of support around 41.30 to interact with 37.29, but ultimately I do believe price action can kind of hold that 41.30 level there. One word to consider: EngineeringRobo, along with the Fibba Zucchini lines of Illuminati, Geometry, Symmetry, and Bugattis we can see. This Fibba Lamborghini level at the 0.786 line is going to be potential significant support at 42.79 Satoshi, just below where price action currently is. If we were to hold that level, we could see a bounce potentially significant enough to bring us above that 200 daily moving average, which we are currently below, and we could very well interact with 45.06 Satoshi again, to kind of see just how significant that resistance is going to be if we were to have a strong bounce off of that 0.786. But ultimately, I do believe we are likely to break that level downward and interact with 41.30. We do have the kind of like sell 2, sell 3, sell 4 hell, all with that crazy candle the 19th of May there, when we kind of opened at like 68.65, wicked down to like 45.97, but then closed at like 50.84. Ultimately, that was a kind of like very bearish candle, very jarring day for crypto, and so that was enough to trigger EngineeringRobo's bearish suggestions. And so, I mean, until we see some bullish signs and indicators coming into play here, I do believe some lower levels are going to present themselves. And with price action below that 200 daily moving average on the USDT chart and on the Bitcoin chart, we could very well suspect some perhaps midterm kind of bearish price action and accumulation for Litecoin against the price of Bitcoin for a period of weeks, perhaps a month, before we interact with these kind of upper levels that we came from. Although momentum can change at any moment, and the fundamentals for crypto in a whole are still quite bullish at the moment, and the demand is still very high for plenty of coins. And so, I mean, we could very well have the fundamentals strong enough to kind of bring us above these very heavy technical kind of like sell indicators. But like I said, there's lots of kind of bullish and bearish kind of factors in play at the moment, and so momentum will have to kind of play out. And we'll have to see kind of where support is found, and kind of where how bullish the bulls can be and how bearish the bears can be. If we were to consider now Bitcoin against the price of the universe, we can see new perspective come into play as we see price action slightly exhausting, as we potentially are printing a lower high relative to price action on the kind of 20th and 21st of May, a higher high relative to the 26th and the 26th of May and the 3rd of June. We are printing a higher high relative to kind of those swing highs, but a lower high relative to that 20th and 21st kind of like swing high there, off of that 0.618 Fibonacci level. 41,500 is going to be very significant resistance moving forward, and as we approach it, we are already seeing some sell pressure bringing us below 40k. 40k is going to be a very psychological round level of resistance I believe we're going to be interacting with, which is why it's kind of causing that before the Fibonacci level. But ultimately, that Fibonacci line is going to be, I believe, the kind of key pivot point that's going to suggest just how much momentum we kind of have here. If we fail to break that Fibonacci line, then we could find our way all the way back down to potentially that 0.5 Fibonacci line at 34,300. Although I do suspect a higher low to play out, and support was likely to be found between 37k and like 38k I believe, is going to be a kind of like nicer low that we might find interaction with to confirm this kind of breakout forward. And so, I mean, in this state, any pumps that we have are going to be met with, some pretty serious pullbacks. And so the more we can pull back and the more we can find support as we plow through resistance, the more support we can find, the more bullish we can be in the short term. The long term, I'm still quite bullish as Bitcoin is in very high demand at these levels. But being under this very high technical sell pressure of the 200 daily moving average, I do believe price action is likely to have some very volatile sell pressure as well. That is going to be matched by this very abundant fundamental buy pressure. And so, I mean, my most bearish target is still going to be that 0.382 Fibonacci line. If we do see very significant rejection off of that 0.618 level under that 200 daily moving average, and we plummet through the 0.5 Fibonacci line, and we fail to hold 32K, 27K is my last kind of like, long-term bullish, bearish target, that even if we do find price action at those levels, we could still be long-term bullish. But I do suspect support is likely to be found above 34K or 32K. And so, lots going on in the market, lots of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, lots of volatility, very aggressive swings, multi-$1,000 moves upward and downward between these Fibonacci ranges. Will we be bullish enough to kind of break above and find support along that level before we can interact with those kind of upper, all-time high levels that we came from not too long ago? Or are we still bearish and some more sideways is necessary, and some more accumulation is pending? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on price action. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Try EngineeringRobo free with a link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all the other social media down below, and tune in for the next one.